All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and graph in standard form. My cat just walked across my iPad. All right, so let's go ahead and fill out everything that we need to know for standard form. Okay, so let's first write the equation. So our equation is ax squared plus bx plus c. And the purpose, it's just easier to find your y-intercept. Okay, nothing too crazy on that. Okay, so the way we find our vertex, it is a little more challenging, but it'll just take a little practice from everyone. So the x coordinate is found by plugging in the equation negative b over 2a. And then we find the y coordinate by plugging it back in. Beautiful handwriting there. Our axis of symmetry is just x equals our negative b over 2a. So whatever number that we solve up here is the same thing. And then the same thing down here. If a is bigger than 0, it's a happy face. And if a is negative, it's a sad face. Okay, so let's practice graphing in standard form. I got the hiccups now, geez. All right, so the first thing I want to look at is a. Well, a in this case is negative 1, because remember it goes a, b, c. So because it's negative 1, we know that it's going to open down. Well, our vertex here is negative b over 2a. Well, b is 2, so that means negative b is negative 2. So we've got negative 2 over 2 times a, which is negative 1. So negative 2 divided by negative 2 gives me a positive 1. So that means my axis of symmetry is x equals 1. So I'm still going to use my table and my graph to my advantage. So since I found 1, I'm putting that in that middle space. So I've got a 1 here. We still have to go up 2 and down 2, so that's 2, 3, and that is 0, negative 1. Again, it doesn't matter which direction you go, it just has to go up and down. Okay, so it doesn't matter if the 3's up here or anything like that. Okay, so let's start plugging some stuff in so we can get some numbers out of this. So let's plug in negative 1. So we've got negative 1 squared plus 2 times negative 1 minus 1. Lots of work. So in this case, negative 1, it gets us a negative 4. So we get a negative 4 here. And don't be afraid to plug the stuff in your calculator. Okay, our next one, let's plug in 0. So we plug in negative 0 squared plus 2 times 0 minus 1. And that gives us negative 1. So this is a negative 1. Next thing we're doing is plugging in our x value for our vertex because we still have to find what our y value is. So I've got negative 1 squared plus 2 times 1 minus 1. When we plug that in, we get 0. So this is 0. Then lastly, remember that these two are the same. So this one's also negative 4. And I'll remind you that these two are also the same. So this is negative 1. So let's go ahead and graph that just like we did yesterday. So we've got negative 1 and negative 4. We've got 0, negative 1. We've got 1, 0. And then we've got 2, negative 1. And then we've got 3, negative 4. Perfect, and you can see that U shape starting to form, so let's connect our dots, put our arrows, and lastly, our axis of symmetry, which is just that vertical line that goes through the vertex. So there's our beautiful graph in standard form. Okay, let's do that again. All right, so if you guys are struggling with finding A, B, and C, well, A is the number that's in front of x squared. And in this case, A is negative 2. And B is the number in front of x, and in this case, it's negative 4. And C is 4, just the number by itself. So because A is -2, that means this graph is going to go down. Next step we have to do is find our vertex by using -b over 2a. So if b is already -4, a negative times a negative does get us a positive. So we're going to have a positive 4 on the numerator, and then 2 times a, which is -2. So we'll have 4 divided by -4, which gives us -1. So remember, that -1 goes in our middle spot in our chart. So we'll have a -1 there. But we have to still find our axis of symmetry, which is really easy because it's just x equals -1 because it's whatever number that is. So from -1, we need to find more points. So we've got -1, -2, -3. We've got 0, 1. So I went 2 in each direction. Again, it doesn't matter if you write them on top or the bottom. Just be consistent with it. So next thing we're going to do is plug some stuff back in. So in this case, we've got -2 times 1 squared minus 4 times 1 plus 4. La 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 la. We get -2. So this first one is -2. The next one we've got to plug in, which is 0. So we got -2, then we got parentheses, then we got 0, then we got the squared, then we got the -4, and then we got parentheses again with the 0 inside of it, and then plus 4, and then equals. We can tell that, oh my god, it's 4. So this one's a 4, this one's a 4. Oh my gosh, you get a 4, you get a 4. I feel like I'm Oprah. All right, sorry. So then this one is also -2 because these match. Last one that we need to plug in is the x value in our vertex. So we plug in -1, but I forgot my -2 out front, squared, minus 4 times -1 plus 4. And when we plug that in, we get a beautiful 6. Okay, so this is going to be a 6 here on our graph. So there's all my table, all my work. It's beautiful, I know. Now let's graph it on this awesome graph. So remember, we've got 1, -2. We've got 0, 4. We've got -1, 6, which is like here. Because I'm really good at that. Okay. Cool. Then we've got -2, 4. And then we've got -3, -2. Beautiful. Let's connect those dots and put those arrows. Oh, I missed that dot, but you know what? I came close. Next thing I'm doing is my axis of symmetry, which is that vertical line through the vertex. Booyah! All right, we got one more. So what I want you to do is I'm going to help set you up for it, and then you guys are going to finish it. So my A here, remember, it's the number in front of x squared, and in this case, it's a -1. B is not there, because keep in mind, B is the number that goes with x. There is not an x, so B is 0, and C is 3, because that's the number that's by itself. So from that, we can see that it opens down. We can see that the vertex, which we do -b over 2 times a, well, b is 0, and you can't have a -0, so it's just 0 over 2 times -1, which is still just 0. And then our axis of symmetry is x equals 0. Beautiful. We plug it into the middle spot in our graph or our chart or our table, whatever I'm trying to say. We put a 0 here. So what I want you guys to do now is pause my annoying voice and find the rest of this information and graph it on your coordinate plane, okay? Once you're done, press play, check your answers, like actually do it. Okay, pause me, bye. Voila! I graphed a function, quadratic function, and that's in standard form. So you can see what I did is I filled in the rest of my table, I plugged in all my points, and I used those points to graph it on the graph. So what we need you guys to do now is check off the standard form. Go ahead and try this practice. Ask questions if you get stuck. All right, see ya.